That's a first. It is Tuesday, so welcome back. Let's get our geek on tonight. That's right. I'm broadcasting across all of my platforms, but tonight it's about across the tabletop. And yeah, I know I'm going to remember to fix that one day. That's my main channel. But still, tonight we're going to talk about some fun stuff. But before we get into all this fun, all the goodness and everything, Joshua Ricks, I see you over here, brother, if I can actually hit the right thing. What's going on, King Ginger? Good to have you here. Okay, so as I put out for the little preview part for tonight, Leviathan drops Saturday. Games Workshop had its pre-order like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and I really want to give them credit. They did wonderful. It lasted for 15 hours worldwide, considering Indominus sold out in 15 minutes worldwide. I really wanted to buy it from my local gaming store, Docking Bay 93, and that's what I will be doing. I made a mistake because I wanted to check on something for my Stormcast Eternals. So I hopped on GW's website, not remembering today was pre-order day, and I somehow got myself in the queue. So I gave up my opportunity, Yeah, after all this time, it better start beginning to look good, right? I mean, hopefully by now I know what I'm doing. It's never been as long and luxurious as yours, my friend, but still. So I passed that up with the queue, and I had to go to Docking Bay 93 last weekend. And I had every intention of going, hey, I'm going to pass on the order, because I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty Leviathaned out. It hasn't even dropped. But one thing that I love that Games Workshop has been doing is they're working with their online affiliate guys, what their partner program, for lack of a better phrase, and a bunch of people already have the box. One of my most favorite channels, if I ever want to do anything, I go there. It's Play on Tabletop, have been producing a lot of 10th edition content. But I'm Leviathaned out. I'm like, I can't even do an unboxing because everyone already knows what's in it, Brother Shaky, how you doing, man? Tonight's geek night, man, so you're in the right place. But I will be getting Leviathan because, like I said, when I went there, I was going to cancel. I asked the owner, I was like, so, dude, how bad did GW screw you on your order? And he goes, not at all. I got every single thing I asked for. And that stunned me because my local gaming store isn't huge. It's not. I mean, you could pass by it on your way to Walmart and not even realize what it is because it looks like an arcade. I mean, I think he makes a lot of money with the arcade games he has in the back because he has a huge section that's just old-fashioned arcade games. So I was shocked, and I'm like, okay, looks like I'm getting it at Docking Bay 93, Got to support that local gaming store. I'll admit, I want to paint those new miniatures. For those of you who are into 40K, you know that they've dropped the data cards. From my understanding, the hard data cards go on pre-sale Saturday. So that's pretty epic that G-Dub is already rolling it out. They're already rolling out the brand new 10th edition rule books and their normal and everything else. Dropping in on Army time. Exactly, man. You're like a wizard, right? Nice, bro. Nice. Full set of Stephen King's. Yeah, nice, brother. Nice. That's cool. We'll hang out here for a while, brother. I don't know how long I'm going to go tonight because I got a couple things to talk about. And what always goes with crowd interaction and all that kind of fun. We're building up across the tabletop and we're having a lot of fun. Like I said, I really want to paint those new miniatures. I hear they're push fit, and yeah. For those of you who don't know what push fit is, if you've ever put together a model car, model train, model plane, model tank, model boat, model whatever, it comes on a plastic sprue. And you clip it out, you clean up all the flashing and whatnot, and you glue it together. Well, push fit, it's got a male and female end. And no, I'm not using the bad words. It's the male and female end. And you press them together. My experience with push fit miniatures is they just suck. They absolutely suck. I've got ones that are coming up for some videos that you can see the line right down that I couldn't push it any closer in. I get for people brand new to the hobby, that's something really, really cool. You know, you haven't done anything to me, G. Lou. You're always welcome here, man. Tonight's Geek Night, so hang out and have some fun. Like I said, I like broadcasting on all my platforms because you never know who might get some enjoyment out of the tabletop wargaming. This week, we're on tabletop wargaming. You're always welcome here, G. I get, give it to your kid. They can push it together. They can build their own stuff. I've never really had much success with push fit. So from what I hear from everyone, these are their best push fit ones ever. So I'm going to see Saturday when I pick up my kit. I get it, G. No worries, bro. I get it. So I'll admit, I am really excited for it. The rules look a lot easier to be able to just start the game. I like how GW put it simpler, not simplified, not simple. And I like how they do a lot of the stuff now. I like how it seems like they've cut a lot of the bloated part of 9th edition. So I think that's going to be really, really fun. I don't know. I can't wait to get some games under my belt. And speaking of games, I'll admit, I did my first Age of Sigmar game. And I got tabled by a 12-year-old on turn 2. So, number one, I sat there and went, I have t-shirts older than you. What the hell just happened? And then number 2, I sat there and went, good job, young man. Good job. Right there. Right there, Rainer. Right there. You guys should take the East this year. If you don't, I'm going to be shocked. I really, truly am. I've been saying it for a while. So, yeah. But it was cool to get out and roll dice again and have that feeling. And that's one of the things that I love about this hobby is you can just go and you can have fun. It doesn't, you want to win every game, but it's the fact that once you start, both sides are equal point value wise, but those dice will tell stories. So when you're like, I need a 6 and you roll a 1 and you spend a command point re-rolling into a 1, you're like, yeah, okay, cool. It sucks the wind right out of you. It's like, ooh, really? Okay. Now what? But it was fun to hang out with him. It was cool that he was laughing and he's like, okay, this is what we can do differently. And that's what I love about this is when you take that time to make sure your opponent is having as much fun as you are, that's a great thing, because if you roll dice, pop socket mini, yeah. And what's really cool is if you follow the Darth Maul canon and everything that happened to him, I really like the fact that he got put back in the Clone Wars like he was supposed to, and in Star Wars Rebels where he died like he was supposed to. I love that. I love that Dave Filoni did that. Just beautiful, 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 beautiful. I really thought he was seriously, I don't know, screwed over in that first movie. That's about the only way I can put it. But regardless, God, got me sidetracked thinking of, I don't care what anybody says. In my opinion, that was the greatest Jedi fight scene ever. On Naboo, where you had Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan against Darth Maul and everything going on everywhere. And then when I got to watch it in 3D, I was just geek heaven. I was seriously in geek heaven. My better half, I think that was one of our first dates, was that movie. So, yeah. She put up with me through that, so I guess I got to keep her, right? She let me geek out and have fun. But yeah, no, I like how your opponent can sit there and talk to you about things and work you through things, and you can have that good back and forth. Now, I know there's people like, you suck. I just rolled that unit. Screw you. Those are the people I'm only going to play once. I really am. I really, really remember having a bad experience at a tournament with a player. And the next tournament I went to, I had him in the first draw, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm done. Oh, yeah, I get it. I get it. I am concerned about some things with Disney with some of their upcoming projects, but I'm going to keep an open mind. Like, what was it? The Book of Boba Fett really wasn't wasn't really about Boba Fett. Um, the Mandalorian at certain points wasn't about the Mandalorian. But I like what they're doing, and I like some of the directions they've gone with stuff. Like Bo-Katan becoming the ruler of the Mandalorians again, which I thought was really, really cool. And the fact how he could just hand the Darksaber over because technically, according to Mandalorian law, she earned it. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Darksaber was rebelling against him for so long, because he wasn't supposed to use it. But that's just me. My theories, my whatevers. Now, one of the biggest things I wanted to talk to you about tonight, and it's been on my mind all week, seeing how, well, I should say for the last week or so, since I've been chaining myself to the paint table, is painting. If you take up this tabletop miniature hobby of ours, one of the most necessary evils is painting your miniatures, especially if you want to play in a tournament. I will say it flat out. If it's a friendly game, I don't care if you're using plastic miniatures with no primer. I don't care if you're using prime miniatures or you're using painted miniatures. I don't care. As long as the miniature's there or a proxy of it is there. That's all I care. But painting, it's a necessary evil. I think one of the greatest things about this hobby is sitting down and you breathing life into that miniature. You taking your time to paint. You taking your time to put the vision in your head of what you want it to look like down on the miniature. Now, I know a lot of these things can be really, really detailed, and I have two examples with me here. I have one that I just finished that I just looked at and went, wow, I can't believe I just did that. And another one that I'm working on that I've been putting off forever because it was huge. It's big and bulky. And it's from, the Warhammer. One's from the Warhammer 40K side, and one's from Age of Sigmar. But I'm going to show you that right now. The Age of Sigmar one, hopefully, I don't know, you can kind of see it okay. It's one of, I think it's a Lord Relictor. He's like the little undead necromantic guy. When I first got him in the Thunderstrike box set, I was really, really nervous about painting him. He's got a lot of little detail on him. I mean, I don't know if you can, like down there, hold on, down there in the legwork, he's got like a relic bone in the arm. He's got another one right there. He's got the scroll work on the back with the skulls. He's got that skeleton sitting right there. I was really worried about painting him. But one of the things I've had to learn how to do is block sections. Like, I'm going to worry about the armor today. Okay, now I'm going to worry about the blues later. Then I'm going to worry about a weapon. Then I'm going to worry about his staff. Now I'm going to worry about the black, basically up here. Well, up here. Okay, now let me start to work on the skeleton. Let me start to work on, it's just little pieces at a time. Block it. Seriously, I kind of work from the biggest to the smallest, if that makes sense. Like, when I'm looking at it, I know with a lot of attention on this guy, it's on his armor. So that's where I'm going to start first. And there's like 9 different colors on there. So it's working up, putting down your base coat, letting it dry, putting down that shade, letting it dry, working your way up through the highlights and taking your time, trying not to rush it. It's a character miniature. It is supposed to stand out on your battlefield. It is supposed to draw attention. And if you do anything wrong on it, hey, guess what? It's just simple paint. You can go back and touch it up. You can fix your mistakes. You have no idea how many times with doing this guy, I'm like, okay, look around. Ooh, a little bit of gold on the black. Let me touch that up with black, and just working through it or sitting and going, I don't know. like on his belt there with the tabard, can you see those two little silver dots down below? Those are rivets on the tabard. And having to put little silver dots on there, and sometimes the paint blobs a little bit too far one side, so you have to go back with black and kind of cover it up and go over it with a little bit more of your highlights. And sometimes I feel like it takes longer when I'm cleaning it up than it actually does painting it, but I want it to look good because it's a character. Not saying my rank and file guys I want to look bad, but if I don't put the silver dots on the rivets, I'm not gonna lose sleep. I just, on the character, I really, really want it to look good, and I've learned how to relax and just go with it. You know, it used to be when I first started doing a guy, I wanted to get it all done that day. I didn't care how it looked. I just wanted it done so I can get it on the tabletop. I think this was a week, just slowly, one bit at a time. And the other thing I like to do, I call it a palette cleanser. I'll work on 5 or 6 miniatures at a time from different ranges to keep my attention focused and keep me diverted a little bit. If maybe I'm not making as good as progress on something that I want to, I've got something else I can switch over and focus on and be like, it's okay, let's just work on this guy for a little while. Okay, well, let's work on some basing over here. You know, and it's one of the things like with Citadel, they're technical paints. I love their basing stuff, you know? Rush Young, what's going on, my brother? Thanks for joining the fun tonight. We're geeking out over here. We're talking painting tabletop miniatures at this point. And the other one I wanted to show you guys is something that I'd put off for a little while. It was my Primaris Dreadnought. Now, I've just started working on them. Okay. This is just a couple base coats, some dry brushing, and some shading so far. What I like to do with these big guys is focus on one thing first, like all the power armor. Then go through and let's start going all the metallics in the middle. You know, and then start to pick out certain little things like, all right, I'm going to work on one arm at a time. So I still need to go back through and highlight up the internal metal parts because it's got the base coat. It's got the shading to kind of darken it down. I know it looks oily and whatnot, but I want to brighten it up a little. And while I'm working on one part on it, while that's drying, I may even go over and like, you know, with the missile launcher, go up and like paint all the missiles red. You know, start working on the scroll work right here. Start working on the Aquila right there. There's so much that you can do in small steps just to make everything look good. And I will freely admit, when you're painting, if you're not coming out of there with a headache at times, I don't think you're doing it right. Because it is a mental exercise to be careful with your breathing. Do you have the right brush? Is your paint loaded up okay? Did you thin down your paint okay? You know, I don't care. Distractions around you, like with it being summer vacation, and I have all 3 of my monsters home all day long. Sometimes being at the paint table is a little bit of a struggle. You know, until the last couple days, I've been doing a Deadliest Catch marathon. You know, I'll just start at season 1, let the episodes play into season 2, and all the way up. Lately, I've been doing Fast and Furious marathon, and like I told my very good friend Jersey Joe the other day, when I was on number 3, I'm like, how the fuck did we ever get 10 of these things? It boggles my mind. The very first episode, they were stealing TV VCR combos. And by episode 9, they're putting cars in outer space and, you know, shooting them around like freaking shuttles. I'm like, come on. But now there's 3 more left. Ugh. But no, with painting, just take your time. Paint it to how you like it. Don't worry about a lot because it's your force. It's your miniatures. If you like them, you're good. Your paint progress will improve as you put in the hours, that muscle memory and everything else. It's like everything else you do in life. Do you think Gordon Ramsay started as a Michelin star chef? No. Do you think some of these guys who have very successful businesses Walked in the door on day one as a new hire and went, hey, guess what? I'm now the CEO and I'm going to triple everybody's income overnight. No. Everything is a progression. Everything is a step going forward. My son put together his first orcs the other day. He's really proud of them. I think he used a bit too much plastic glue on the feet into the base, though, but he'll learn, okay? We've all gone through the process where you have your fingers stuck together and you've got to get the nail polish remover and the cotton ball and separate them. Yeah. But with painting, your first miniatures are supposed to look horrible. They're supposed to look like your pre-kindergarten kid with watercolors just having fun. Or, a drunken circus monkey on acid just trying to do a Jackson Pollock. It's supposed to look that way until you learn. This color works best with this. This brush I like better than this company's brush. Do I like synthetic versus real sable brushes? There's so much that you will learn and you will sit down. Seriously, I'm in my 50s and I'm starting to use makeup brushes for dry brushing. For the longest time, I had like the flat brush or the old GW ones that were kind of like triangle, that as you use them in time, they kind of splayed out big time and you had to get rid of them and get new ones. I never knew makeup brushes were so amazing for dry brushing. I mean, I will admit, I dry brush this with the makeup brushes. They help give you edge highlights. They help put a great amount of paint down. They help evenly distribute paint. It doesn't seem as scratchy or as messy. I learned that recently just by watching a video and someone made a mention about makeup brush. And he's like, yeah, don't make fun of me. They work. What's that old saying in the military? If it works, what is it? If it's stupid and it works, it ain't stupid. I don't know. Just don't let anybody tell you you're not good enough to be in this hobby. Don't let anyone tell you that, oh my God, your dice suck. Never come back to my table till you roll better. It's all chance. It's a 6-sided dice. Now, granted, unless you're weighing them down on purpose or trying to do some shady crap, Don't let anybody ever blast you for how you paint your figures. I spent a lot of time begging people who were a lot more talented than I am. Hey, how'd you do that? Hey, can you show me? Hey, can you break this process down as if I'm a second grader eating paste? Because that's about the only way you learn, is to go to somebody and humble yourself and go, please teach me. Now, granted, with YouTube and everybody creating channels and having fun, you have such an amazing wealth of knowledge at your hands. Seriously, Duncan Rhodes. I call him like the Tony Hawk of painting, because like Tony Hawk didn't invent the fucking skateboard, but he taught us what to do with it. Duncan is one of those guys that you can sit down, you watch his video, and you come out going, I can do that. No, he's Duncan Rhodes for a reason. He's going to give you the lessons. Now you have to go practice them and do them. Another great guy is Peachy Tips. We're at the painting phase. Chris Peach is freaking phenomenal. He used to be employed at Games Workshop like Duncan Rhodes. Could you imagine if those two had a channel together? I'm just saying. Put time in. You'll be fine. I mean, I God, this sounds so bad. The painting I find more rewarding than actually rolling dice and being on the tabletop. I really, really, truly do. It's just, there's that matter of pride, and it's hard to describe. Like, when I'm starting to collect an army, I'll get like a copier paper box, the top, flip it over, and that's where I'll start like my assembled miniatures. That's where they go. And when you first start, you get them together and you put your primer on. Like for me, I use white all the time. I really do. There's something about it I like. There's something about it that gives me an easier look at things. And I'm okay with that. I know some people like gray, some people like black. I've even tried hawk turquoise because that's all Docking Bay 93 had at that point. I needed to paint miniatures. I don't recommend hawk turquoise. It's very unforgiving as a primer, because it will show you every fuck up you have, period, which in one way is good, in another way is bad. But when you put it in there and you see this snowfield, all right, and you're looking at it and you're thinking to yourself, God, that's going to take forever. and you sit down and you start working on it and you start working on it and you start filling in that snowfield with your painted guys, eventually you're going to look at the prime miniatures and you're going to go, fuck, I got to work on that one now. I've been putting that guy off forever. Don't want to do it. Like for me, for my Stormcast Eternals, I've been putting off Yenestra and what is it, Vandus Hammerhand, the guy on top of the big storm drake looking thing, the big lizard bastard. I've been putting him off for a little while. I got to get him done because you need commanders on the battlefield. There's times you get screwed because you need paint. And unfortunately, if your local gaming store doesn't have it, go to Amazon. And I will say this. In all my videos that I release for Across the Tabletop, yeah, I give you a link to Amazon. Okay? Always support your local gaming store first. They are the lifeblood of this hobby. They are the ground zero of this hobby. That's where you should go. If you go in there to game, make sure you buy like a paintbrush or a thing of paint or something. Help support that store. You know, because they're giving you that area to come in and play at. But that's some of the big things I wanted to talk about tonight. I know. With this show, I never know where it's going to go. I really appreciate all you guys tuning in because Across the Tabletop is still getting its feet wet and still doing things. I'm pretty proud to say that I've had 2 videos breach the 1,000K, the 1,000 view mark. I think that's phenomenal from my incredibly little small channel. I really appreciate the nice guy who left me a comment today who said he appreciates my no-nonsense opening on stuff, how I unbox it and I present it to you. I don't know. I like a lot of channels. And like over on TCT BNL, I borrow from people. I like this about this thing. I like this from this person. I like that. I try to borrow it and make it my own. One of the things I love is I'm an old-time wargamer getting back into it. Seriously, I got out right when second hit third in 40K. In fantasy, the last box set I remember, like for the big thing, was Bretonians and Lizardmen, I believe. So that's how far back I go. What was that, 5th or 6th? You know, I remember the rolling out of the Tomb Kings and the vampire accounts and all that fun stuff. And now it's Age of Sigmar. The old world is gone. Chaos 1 destroyed everything. Now the good people are up in the heavens of Sigmar. I'm like, kind of sounds a lot like 40K and the Emperor and his Custodes, but still. I don't know. Thanks for coming along for this ride. Like I said, I wanted to talk painting in Leviathan tonight because, like I said, I'm pretty much Leviathaned out. I don't even have the box yet. I'm sure I will be giddy as a little schoolgirl on prom night come Saturday. That'll be around noon, so if you hear a lot of squealing, it's probably me getting my box and going, I can't wait to put these things together. And then a half hour later, yelling and screaming because push fit sucks donkey balls. But there we go, guys. That's my show for tonight. You know, I appreciate all of you for tuning in. I really, truly do. I hope you're having a great day today, a safe day today, and God willing, one day, I'll meet all of you across the tabletop.